of Alabama's homecoming weekend, I thought I'd share a little bit about what it's like to roll with the tide here in the City of Angels. Bama fans in LA, gathering in an open-air pub, the accents, the fight song, the cheers, then walking outside and seeing palm trees in West Hollywood. It's like reverse culture shock all over again. So, who are some of these Bama locales, and what do they think about last week's game and what we have going on for the rest of the season so far?
I'm Jay Brader, I'm from Birmingham.
My name is Randall Crane. I am from Mobile, Alabama.
As long as we don't turn the ball over, which we already have, if we can limit turnovers from here on out, we'll be good. Defense dominates, we win.
Mumbling at this point. Hopefully you can edit all this stuff out. Hang up in secondary, played very tight coverage on the outside. Very tight. They couldn't get the passing game going on. And defensive line put their hands up. That's what they've been doing all year.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
We are all set to roll into another controlled victory this weekend in our game against Arkansas. Our defense is a definite stop to the Razorbacks running game, and I'm fingers crossed for a strengthened offense to go ahead and give the Tide a 14-point lead. SEC West is the best. In fantasy football, injuries are continuing to ruin my roster, as I'm sure they are for a lot of you. But Arian Foster is finally getting into his groove after being out for the first 3 weeks, even though that may mean grabbing his helmet and getting back into the game with some attitude right after a hard hit and against doctor's orders. And though he did give me a disappointing 1 point last week, in this Thursday night football game, he was a not-so-disappointing 11 points to start my fantasy week with. So I'd say, hey, Arian, thanks, boy, let's get it going. Arian Foster is not an early season ad that I regret thus far. Watching you, boy. With him and Ingram in my Week 5 lineup, that fits into most running back top 10 pick lists. So all I gotta say is, roll tide to that. Bye weeks are starting to fire up trades and drops, even if injuries haven't already. So good luck to those of you going into Week 5 and dealing with those big decisions. NFL game for me this weekend is obviously the Cowboys Patriots, especially as one of my best pals, who just happens to be born and raised in Hungary, is also a diehard New England fan. And let me tell you, he has all the gear to prove it. I mean, slippers? Really? Well, here to give you his outlook on the game is Zsolt, all the way from the Hungarian Cultural Center.
My name is Zsolt. I'm from Hungary. I'm watching the Patriots around 8 years ago. The Sunday football will be tough against the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of Dallas players are injured. The Patriots are really rough team to play against, but that stadium is impressive, loud, lot of people, fans there, so it will be a fun game.
Thank you, Zsolt. Other games to watch. Kansas City has to pull a win over Chicago. The Bengals are probably looking at their first loss against the Seahawks. I have been feeling a bit bad for Sam Bradford, so I'm looking for him to lead the Eagles to a win over those stinking Saints. Yes, I'm still hurting. The Buffalo-Tennessee game is going to be close, but I see the Bulls pulling out a win. Yes, that is for you, Dan, but I really do believe it. Another close game is going to be the Lions and the Cardinals. I'm going for the Cardinals because I got to support my pick, Palmer. Lastly, I'm looking for a big Bronco win over the Raiders. I got to get those Peyton points after all. Don't hate. So, let's go watch up some football and enjoy. Love from me and Lil Big Al.